I am Anil Kumar. Welcome to my series on numeration. We'll discuss about working with rates and converting units in this particular video. Here are two examples. The first one is water is dripping from a tap at a rate of 5 milliliters per second. How long will it take in minutes to fill a bottle of 1.5 liters? The second example is it was observed that a liquid evaporates at a rate of 7.5 times 10 to the power of minus 6 centimeter cube per second. How much time in days will 72 centimeter cube of this liquid take to evaporate? So these are the two questions. You can always pause the video, answer, and then look into my suggestions. We'll begin with the very simple concept. So we are given the rate, we want to find the time. So I'll draw your attention to this particular triangle, which we normally draw for distance, speed, and time. So we are saying this is distance, this is speed, and this is time, right? So that triangle you know, right? So we know how time is related with distance and speed. It is distance over speed, right? Now, whenever we have rate is same as speed. So think about a similar triangle, right? Think about a similar triangle when we are talking about rate and capacity, right? So here, think as if we have the rate here. Here we have time, t, and here we have the capacity or amount, right? So let's say total capacity, c, right? So it is the same formula. Distance is total amount which you have to cover. Speed is the rate at which you are covering this distance, and t is the time taken, right? So it is the same formula. So as you can see, we can always write time t as equal to capacity or amount divided by rate. So time taken will be dependent on the rate. If you are doing faster, time will be lesser. If it is slower, then time will be more, right? So that is the relation which we should be using to solve such questions. So that is one part. And second is to convert the units. So now let's look into solution of our answer to our question number 1, right? So which says water is dripping from a tap at the rate. So we are given the rate is equals to 5 milliliters per second, correct? How long will it take in minutes to fill a bottle of 1.5 liters? So that is the amount, right? Or the capacity, right? You can write capacity or amount, which is 1.5 liters. So definitely, we want our answer in minutes. So we need to convert these units also. You could convert them separately, or you could do it together. So basically, we want to get amount in seconds, right? So I could write this rate as it is 5 milliliters per second, right? If I want it in minutes, what will I do? In 1 minute, it would be much more, right? So what we can do here is convert this into, we have seconds here. So we'll write how many seconds do we have in a minute. So we have 60 seconds in 1 minute, correct? So when you multiply by 60, you get your answer in per minute, right? Second and second will cancel. So you get 5 times 60, which is 300 milliliters per minute. Do you see that? So since we want our answer in minute, it's a good idea to multiply this by 60 and write this in minutes itself. Now, we have milliliters, not liters. So it's easy to multiply this by 1000. So 1.5 liters can be multiplied by 1000. Why did we do so? Since we know there are 1000 milliliters in 1 liter, right? So unit part is important to understand. So when you write the units, you can see for yourself how they cancel, and always you'll get the right value, right? So you get 1500. So you get 1500 milliliters. Is that clear to you? Now we need to find how long will it take, time in minutes, right? So we can say now the time taken will be equal to capacity divided by rate. So in this case, the total thing to be filled is 1500 milliliters, right? Divided by the rate, which is 300 milliliter per minute. So now it's easy to calculate. You can cancel these zeros and you get 15 divided by 3 as 5, and this goes on the top, milliliters cancel, so 5 minutes. Do you see that? So our answer is 5 minutes. So that is how, in simple steps, you can do your calculations. So I'd like you to go through this calculation. Here, what we did was, we converted the units first, as it was simpler. To do so, we converted liters to milliliters and milliliter per second to milliliter per minute by multiplying by 1060, as you've seen. And then the ratio gave us the time. Now let's do the second question. The second question here is, it was observed that a liquid evaporates at the rate, so we are given the rate here. So the rate here is 7.5 into 10 to the power of minus 6 centimeter cube per second, right? How much time in days? We want now answer in days. Well, 72. So the capacity here, or total quantity here, is 72 centimeter cube of this liquid will take to evaporate. Now, since you want this in days, it's a good idea to convert the rate also in per day, correct? Per day. So what will you do for that? So let's convert this. So we have 7.5 times 10 to the power of minus 6, which you could write in denominator, 10 to the power of 6. Okay. Now, centimeter cube is no need to worry, right? So we'll have centimeter cube, that's fine. What we need to worry about is this second, right? To convert, we know that in 1 minute, we have 60 seconds, right? So we have 60 seconds in 1 minute, correct? We don't want minutes, we want days. Well, let's first convert to hours. So we have 60 minutes in 1 hour, correct? And as far as the days are concerned, there are 24 hours in a day, right? So we'll write this 24 hours in 1 day. Do you see that part? So likewise, we could gradually get from seconds to minutes, minutes to hours, and hours to days. Now, units, see how they cancel away, and you get what you need, centimeter cube per day, right? So that becomes the rate, right? So we'll rewrite this rate as equal to 7.5 times 10 to the power of minus 6 times 60 times 60 times 24, correct? Now, we have to find the time. So the time taken will be how much? Time is capacity over rate. So in this case, the capacity is 72 centimeter cube. So I'm purposely writing the units. You'll see how they cancel away. And the rate here is, divide this by all what you have here, which is 7.5 times 10 to the power of minus 6 times 60, then again times 60, and then times 24. Do you see that part? All this. And the units for this is centimeter cube per day, right? So per day. So day is in the denominator. So when you write day will go on the top, so you'll get unit of time in days. Does it make sense to you? Is this clear? Correct. So let me rewrite this one more step. So I'll write this as 72 and 10 to the power of minus 6. Let me write this as 10 to the power of 6, right? So which basically means 6 zeros, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 10 to the power of minus 6 written on the top. 1 million, right? Now here, see, 75 could be written as 7.5 can be written as 75 over 10, right? You could do that, right? Okay, so we'll write this as 75 over 10. That means I'll multiply this by 10 more. So this gives you 7.5. Now we have 60, 60 and 24. So times 60 times 60 times 24. And the units are now centimeter cube cancel and we get days. Is that clear to you? Right? So that is how. Now see, the calculation is not so difficult. So this 10 goes away with 1 0. The second 0 goes away with this. Correct? Now 24 will go 3 times with 72, right? 3 times 24, 4 times 3 is 12. So this goes 3 times. So you get 3 here. Correct? Now 75, you could actually divide. 75 you could divide by 5 and you can also divide by 3. So let's do it in steps. You could divide by 25 also. So if I divide 25, so dividing by 25 3 times, right? And this, if you divide by 25, 25 is 4 and 4,000. Does make sense to you? So when you divide this number by 25, because 100 over 25 is 4, left with these 3 zeros. And again, we can now cancel these 3's also. Do you see how easy this number is to work with? Correct? So just by cancelling, we could simplify this a bit. Correct? Now, we could divide this by 6 and 2. By 2 we could divide both. So if I do that, we get 3 here, and by 2 we get 2000. Now again, we could divide this by 2. We get 3 here, and we get 1000. Do you see that? So what we get here is 1000 divided by 9 days, which is equal to 1, then again it is 10, 1, again it is 10, 1.1 day, right? So we can say 111 days. So that becomes our answer for the given question. Do you see the steps involved? So practice this kind of questions without calculators. Sometimes you may be required to do this work, right? So this is without calculator. So if you work in this fashion, you can actually solve such a question without calculator in no time, right? So I was explaining, however, you can see the numbers given to you are such that you could cancel most of these numbers and you're left with a very easy calculation at the end to perform. So I hope that helps. Feel free to write your comments, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate. Thanks for your time and all the best.